evening, everyone. Welcome to Planning and Licensing on the 3rd of March. 6 of the year's already gone. It's whipping through. Brilliant, thank you. Apologies, Duncan.
We have apologies from Councillors Morris, Brooke and Spry this evening.
Wonderful, thank you. Any interests? Anyone? Crochet? No? As and when? Meeting arrangement issues. We have representation in the audience this evening, so in a minute we'll let you have your say about your planning application. Minutes.
I'm afraid there was a little bit more work to do on those than I thought,
okay.
So we'll do those for the next meeting. If that's
Yeah,
okay.
no, that's wonderful, thank you. So no matters arising. Right, now, number 6 is the open session for electors. And we have Mr. Wilkinson in the gallery, who's going to come down and speak at the microphone. It's application 5, so PA 26/0/00877. It's 13 Vere Road. Over to you, Mr. Wilkinson. 3 minutes.
Right. Thank you for allowing me to come and speak. Much appreciated. 13 Vere Road. This is our third application from last March. The first application, I think, was not well received by the planning officer, Javier Herrero del Oro, taking on board that even though there's a case for our next door neighbour, he wasn't happy with the height of the ridge and the eaves. We've gone through another pre-plan application. His main criteria was that we keep the ridge height to a standard 1.2 metres and keep the eaves height on the building the same height. So the Old Firm Road is more in line with the street scene and aesthetic. We've now submitted our third application, which now falls in line with the roof line, which is standard to the rest of the properties in the road. The roof height is within this stated criteria, and the eaves height has been designed to be at the same current level as the current property. We are putting 2 dormers, which I think is pretty much standard in terms of what is around the place, and this follows that application in 58 Pendle Road, where we've copied their design. The application was in 2023, which more or less the same on that basis. As far as the architect is concerned, we've done everything in line with what the planning officer has requested. We sent planning the drawings to our neighbours and neighbourhood neighbours to get their comments, and they are much in favour of this new design, and even our neighbours at 15 Vere Road, who first objected to our drawing plans. We've had a consultation with them, and they're happy with the new designs. It's more in keeping with what they've got, with what they see as more suited to the area. They did put in one little objection about a window at the back on the happy with that, and the overall height. We have had a meeting with Councillor Kevin, which sadly has passed away. And in the area. So it says what we can do. We can't really go any further with this really. We are compromising our roof space by the new design, but we're willing to go along with that as long as we can maintain all the other aspects of the design. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkinson. Questions? Joanna?
Thank you very much for coming, and it makes it so much easier. Can I just understand, because it talks about dormer extensions, but are you actually making the roof higher?
The roof is yes. The roof is well, the ridge height will be increased by 1.2 metres, which is the same roof height as the next door.
That was going to be my next question.
Yes. Yeah, they don't say. In fact, there's 1.3, but yeah, 1.2
so you've made
is
the
being
roof
stated.
higher, then you put dormer extensions on that roof.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Duncan, do we have a street scene that we could look at? I do notice that you've got, I think, 6 comments online, and they're all saying it's a great idea, which is very rare.
Just take a quick look at the existing elevation.
Yeah. I was really interested in the street scene.
Yeah, and there's your street scene. This great property here is number 13. This is a June 2023, so it's reasonably up to date.
And I don't know if you can see it, Miss Williams. Is it the one on the right that you say has already been, or is that one there? Right,
That
yes,
one,
I
yes,
see.
that's right, yes.
To the left, right. So, left. That's quite similar, isn't it?
Any other questions? Margaret?
More than a question. I presume the roof height to the one to the right is higher because actually it's a road going down, isn't it? Yeah, so that's what it, yeah.
It is, yeah. The hill, Fear Road's on a hill, so
But the one to the
hence
left
they're
is
all
down as well.
staggered.
Yeah.
I mean, from this, it's very hard. It doesn't look like it's 1.2 metres higher than the number 13.
Doesn't look a lot different.
Any other questions for Mr. Wilkinson? No? Karen?
Could I have a look at the plans again?
Yeah, we'll be
We'll
discussing it in a
we'll
minute.
go through them in. I'll go through them
Yeah.
in full in a minute.
But we need to take it out. This is just questions for Mr. Wilkinson at the moment.
No, I've got
No.
no questions.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wilkinson. So if you turn off the microphone and go and sit back down, we'll push it up the agenda and discuss it, but you can't comment any further, okay? Because you're fine to watch us discussing it. And remember that the only thing that we give here is our ideas and guidance. We do not make planning decisions. That is with Cornwall Council at County Hall with Saviour. They're the ones that make decisions. With all the parish and town councils, all we do is we give our thoughts. Okay? Yeah, wonderful, thank you. Right, so I'm happy to propose then we move Application 5 up the agenda. Seconder? Yes, Sandy seconded. All those in favour? Brilliant. Thank you, everybody. Over to you, Duncan, if you want to take us through this.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll just pinpoint where we are. So Veal Road. We're just sort of beneath this dog leg in Veal Road here. Okay, I think this is the property where my cursor is at the moment. We'll go back to the street view, just so that we've got that to hand. Right, yeah, as you'll see, there are 6 public comments in support. This is an application that we considered just under a year ago, 22nd of May. It would have been actually 21st of May. We looked at this and a proposal for a slightly taller conversion, which was objected to and was withdrawn. Since then, the Wilkinsons have been through the pre-application process. In his advice, the officer had stated the scale and prominence may result in an incongruous form of development that could be at odds with the immediate setting. He also said the proximity of the extension to the neighbour at the south may result in adverse overbearing or overshadowing, in addition to potential issues or losses of privacy. I think we've already heard reference to some obscure glazing at the rear, but we'll just start off, as we almost always do, just familiarise ourselves with the application site. There you can see number 13 set back slightly from the road there, and we have a proposed block plan.
Can I just check, does the road run north-south? Is that what we'll...
Yes.
Sort of north-south?
Yes, it's almost north-south.
Veal
yeah.
Road is north-south. Yeah, okay, so I'll just zoom in on this block plan because it quite nicely shows us the additions to the footprint, which are reasonably modest, I would suggest. Well, we've got the existing elevations here. The west elevation in the top left corner is the street facing. We don't have a street scene that plots it against the neighbours, but we've got quite a good view from the street scene. The proposed elevation, as you can see, it's lifting that ridge height by 1.1, 1.2 metres. What I'd also like to bring up is the previous application from a year ago, it was withdrawn, so there were no officer comments. But we do have officer comments to the pre-app, so it seemed relevant, and that's only from last October, so it seemed relevant to bring that elevation up as well. Really, I think we can sort of kind of compare the two elevations and take on board what the officer said. So this is the elevation that went to the pre-application advice, and this is the proposal now. So I think you can see that the ridge height is the same. What this comparison shows, though, is apart from the ridge height, we can also see the scale and mass of the roof has been reduced. So if we look at the pre-app, you'll see at the rear side there was really, the building had almost become flat roof. There was very little pitch on it at all. And then obviously this is at the rear of the property. And you'll see from the east elevation, which is the rear, that there was, effectively, so, I mean, the best way I could think of describing it was almost sort of like a built-in dormer rather than a built-on dormer, if that makes sense. But if we have a look at the current proposal, especially on that south and north side, you can see the roof has changed shape, so it is reducing that scale and mass. There is some reduction in the scale and mass of the dormers as well. So you'll see that the pre-application advice, it had a taller dormer with a shorter roof. You've now got they've modestly reduced the front dormers. You'll also see that at the rear, rather than that almost kind of sort of mansard roof approach, you've got a full length dormer. And you can see from, if we look at that south side again, you can see the front facing dormer and the rear facing dormer. In terms of the floor plans, I won't keep you much longer, but in terms of the floor plan, this is what they would be looking to do upstairs. So it's creating 2 more beds and bathroom space. So the property goes from being a 2-bedroom bungalow to a 4-bedroom house. One thing I just wanted to clarify was, right, I can't see any reference there to obscure glazing at first floor level. I'm perhaps thinking that that's a conversation that Mr. Wilkinson has had with his neighbour, and that is something that they've sort of discussed, but I don't think I'm not aware that that's actually part of the application. So currently those windows would not be obscure glazed, so you may want to bear that in mind when you return your comments.
Because it's new views, isn't it? Yeah.
So I can go back to that. So let's see. So the officer stated that the scale and prominence may result in an incongruous form of development that could be at odds with the immediate setting. He then went on to say the proximity of the extension to the neighbour to the south may result in adverse overbearing or overshadowing, in addition to potential overlooking issues or losses of privacy.
Right.
The advice given that was any future application would have to address those concerns, obviously.
Brilliant, thank you, Duncan. Questions? Joanna?
I'm a little unhappy, if you look at the south side plan, I'm a little unhappy that the 2 dormers are obviously a different, that one, the one, southwest, the west dormer is higher. So I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, considering the roof is rising 1.2 metres, which is quite a distance, sort of like from the floor, it's going to be about that height, isn't it? And the front dormer, as opposed to the rear dormer, is shorter. So it suggests that the roof doesn't need to be so tall, or the front dormers, in other words, doesn't it? The roof isn't. Because I mean, if we have a look at can we look at the current elevation, please, Duncan? I mean, the chimney's going. So if we think of the chimney and it's got an aerial on the top, but the chimney is probably not 1.2 metres. So if you think about, it's going to be taller than the chimney height, the top of the chimney, that the roof is going to be raised. It is quite a distance. If we have a look back at the street scene, so there's the chimney. So if you think it's going to probably more like the aerial height, that is taller than the neighbours. Remember, we've got in our policy about the terracing effect. And if we do a line across, then it's, there's a good chance that it's still going to be taller than the neighbour to the north of the property. this neighbour is set back off the road, this one isn't. And if we scan up and down,
There's a much bigger one up to the north, isn't there?
yeah, that's it. But I mean, there are houses on basically on Henver Road, aren't they?
Yeah,
It's all the way up there, and that's,
Ones that you mean.
yeah.
No, I thought that one further down towards to the way was bigger. Was that just not really?
So I mean, looking at this, then that roof is going to be a lot bigger. But yeah, it's this neighbour here, isn't it? So we've got the terracing going down, and of course the ridge height will stop that. But it's what's happened with the neighbour here. Can we drive back down to the north then of and have a look at what sort of, keep going down to, down the road. So keep going. Whoa, stop. That's it. You see, it's this, isn't it, that's already happened next door, which effectively has made it into a house. A row of bungalows has been made into a house next door. Joanna?
I was just wondering about any effect on, is that solar panels they've got on the house next door?
No, they look like
Is
roof
it-
windows. They're roof
What
lights.
is it? Because whatever's happening, if that house goes up, then that's going to block whatever is on the, can we swing
I
round?
think they are solar panels.
No,
actually.
can we swing the other way round?
Oh,
Look at the other-
that
Oh,
one.
sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
No, I wasn't
Wrong
looking at that
property.
one. No,
Oh.
the one that is next
No,
to
those are two roof lights there. Unless you drive back up, unless they've got solar panels, those
No,
are two roof lights.
immediately to the south of the, so we can see what the roof looks like from the, directly to the south
No,
of
go
this one.
the other way. That's the north.
Which, I'm
the other
getting
way.
confused. Which one are we talking about
Go
now?
up the Hem-
This
go
house
towards the
here.
Hem-
Right.
Go up towards the Henver Road and then come back.
And look back, that's right, and turn around.
Right.
Yes, there are solar panels there. Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether if the roof goes up, are
Yeah.
those solar
Yeah.
panels going to be blocked?
Yeah, especially in winter time.
Can I just
Yeah, go. Yeah,
say,
Francis.
sorry, I mean, I think with any planning application, you can find lots of reasons to not like it. But I think that that area of town is a very family area. We need to encourage people to stay in Newquay where it's affordable to live and have family homes. And I think whilst a metre and a bit is quite a bit, it still looks and feels more like a bungalow than it would do a house with a pitched roof on top of it. So I don't think that we necessarily need to spend a lot of time finding reasons to say no. The one thing I would like to see on this would be some solar panels.
Whatever, so it needs G2 with the solar panels and the bird boxes and everything on, yeah, and, yeah. Joanna?
It may depend upon what, how do you pronounce his name? Javier says. I mean,
Xavier, yeah.
he's. I don't think this is a huge difference from what he said he thought would be incongruous in the street scene. So, I mean, I'm very sympathetic with what's trying to do. I'm worried about that bigger. I don't see why we have that bigger dormer when it should match on the other side. I'm worried
Yeah.
about the effect of the house to the south. In terms of they're all higgledy-piggledy houses going up and down there, so I don't think it will be. I don't think it would be incongruous, but I am worried about the effect. And I thought the view from the side is downright ugly when you see the two dormers on different sizes. But I suspect that I mean, I don't want to stop somebody, as you say, extending their home so they can put a family into it. It's really difficult, this one. I don't think we got enough to object, but I wouldn't be surprised if Javier comes back and says, no, it's not, they've not done enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I mean, the rear windows at the rear windows at the rear, the rear windows are creating a new view, which is effectively looking down onto the neighbours. I mean, it looks like they've got obscure glass, which for the bathroom windows, which is which is fine, I mean, because, you know, for looking in and whatever, but, you know, those two windows, are going to create views into the garden. Well, I mean, we can, if somebody makes a suggestion, then we can put our concerns and put it back to.
I'm going to say a no objection, subject to solar panels and all the other stuff that we put in
Where are we going to put these solar panels?
on the roof.
Sorry, which way? Because you're looking at a south-facing, north-facing roof.
Well, you can
Where-
put.
Well,
Where
I
would
think
you
I think the term solar is a bit like global warming. It's not about global warming. It's about changing of the climate. And solar panels don't necessarily need sunlight; they need light. So it's more about the
Yeah, I mean, they can go on east and west.
Exactly.
They'll be on east and
Yes,
west.
they can.
See the plans, the south, they go back to the plans again, the elevations. I mean, the reason the house next door has got them the south roof is
Yeah.
because that's the way the sun comes.
But you see, lots of people which have them on the west and the east. I mean, the preference is to have them on the west side. It's going to be a squeeze on either side of the pitch roof, really, because the dormers are in the way and they're going to create shade. So they're not going to be
Solar
ideal.
panels, I don't think you can make it, because I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that roof is not necessarily suitable for solar panels.
But it would be good to have a professional make that judgment on it, not us.
Yeah. Karen?
Sorry, I missed the start of it, but I wondered if there was neighbours who are concerned about this.
This is all a list of neighbours supporting it.
Supporting. Is there anybody... sorry, I haven't got it. Is anybody actually...
No, there's 6 approvals.
6 approvals? Okay.
Can I just ask, are both either side of the property, have both of those neighbours? Yeah, it's on.
Yeah.
Have both of those neighbours, because I don't think they have.
I don't know.
So the individual who's already got an extension, they clearly haven't commented.
No.
No. Well, you see, the trouble is we don't know. I mean, they're also... They don't...
The neighbour behind that might get overlooked with the dormers.
No, it's the neighbours at the side.
Side.
I think there's too great a distance, I think, for Duncan, isn't there, from behind. Go to the satellite image.
Sorry, you mean from property to property?
Yes. Yes. There's all, you know, this is the back of it here, isn't it? So it's all the way. So it's a long distance.
You know, it's a,
but it's overlooking effectively sideways.
that's a long distance there, but it's the question of whether the neighbours either side have a level of privacy at the moment that creating new first floor views would they would lose that privacy. And there has been, as I say, there's been reference from Mr. Wilkinson when he spoke to obscure glazing at the rear. I haven't seen anything. I could have missed it quite easily, but I haven't seen anything in the application that says that. So I'm assuming that that's a conversation that he has had possibly after the plans went in. So, that could be something that you made reference to when, you make your decision and return a comment.
Have we got a seconder for Francis?
I think I'm going to go for a very unenthusiastic seconder to the no objection with all our concerns, because I think it's very, very borderline here. And I'm really subject to what the view of the planning officer is, whether they've done enough. But I don't think we've got enough to object, but I do have concerns about it, but not enough to object. So I'll second it, so at least we can do a vote on it.
Okay, so all those in favour of no objection? Objection? So I think.
Right. Look, could I just say, sorry, I need a proposal for
Oh,
objection.
proposal for
Yeah,
objection.
sorry, we've got
So I thought-
we've got
hold
a
on.
2 to 4 in terms of the raise no objection, so that proposal has fallen. But I now need a
Yeah, okay, so I'll
for another outcome, which
yeah,
sounds like
I
it's going
propose
to be
objection then, second that, Sandy, those are for objection then, for the four of us. I think the thing is that, I mean, it is, planning officer, as I said, all we give is recommendation. It will come back if Saviour sort of completely agrees that what you've done is okay. It will come back and we'll have it as a 5-day protocol. And the planning officer, we have a voice in that. So in terms of, I think it is still a big change in the street scene. With it, to me, it looks like a house, not a bungalow. But with your neighbour next door, it could easily be overruled. So we only give as guidance. We are not the decision makers.
Could I ask a question before we move on? Your previous objection, you referred to the Newquay character study, which refers to this part of town being characterised by low bungalow developments.
Yeah.
Do you want that returned as a comment?
Yes,
in this?
please.
And also you've referred to the tiering policy.
Tiering policy as well, yeah.
Tiering really is where the views are concerned. So
But
if the windows were all facing down here. Sorry, the windows were all facing down. But I'm not sure it really applies on this one because there aren't many windows on the north-south walls. But you can always refer to it, see what it means.
I think,
I don't think it
tiering
means
policy.
that one house can't be taller than another. What it means is
More-
you don't want to obscure
it's more
anybody's
about what
views.
it's more about the relationship between this house. I think this is what Councillor Kenny
And
was
its
saying,
neighbours,
and the houses behind it. The
Yeah,
tiering, not down the road, but down towards the sea, effectively, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, we haven't got that view either to look at, yeah.
I'm going to leave that there, yeah.
Yeah. Because for me as well, it also is the tiering effect going down the road as well, with all the bungalows. So, yeah, in the street scene, because its neighbour is set back as well, and this is in line with all the
I
other
think
bungalows.
that the policy, though, is about
Yes, I know what that policy.
tiering to the sea. So I think we're talking about, I just want to be clear so that I know what I'm writing.
Yeah.
We're talking about I think what the officer would refer to as the rhythm and pattern of the street scene is the phrase that they seem to be using at the moment. And I can certainly include that if you're happy with that, Sarah.
Because, you know, in my mind, I know we're not meant to give advice for the architects, but if the dormer is shorter than behind, then the pitch of the roof can probably be dropped by 60 centimetres because the dormer doesn't need to be as tall at the front. So that's in incongruity with the design. Yeah. And if, put G2 stuff on there as well. Thank you. Thank you. Right. So unless you want to sit for all the other planning applications, then thank you. Right. Oh, I need to go back to the agenda. Right, so I propose we go back to the agenda. Seconder, yeah, all those in favour? Margaret? Yeah, wonderful, thank you. Right, back to, we haven't had any written
No,
comments.
I've just got a couple of updates on consultations if you're interested.
Right, so, yeah, but I was just continuing on from 6.
Oh,
So
right.
No, I was just asking if there was any written. No.
Sorry, we've
No.
no written questions for the.
Right, number 7, active consultations. Yeah, stop it. Right, over to you, Duncan.
Right, so yeah, the bus transport improvement plan, that was where, I might still have the, let me just see, there we go. You'll recall that they wanted to bring in some traffic measures
Oh, yes, in St Column Minor.
by where in St Column Major, where the vicarage
Minor,
is.
yeah.
And there was a local comment that said, but hang on, when you looked at it, you were talking about where Leader Road joined the church, was on the corner where the church is. And we actually agreed with that gentleman, and we returned a comment, you know, sort of kind of suggesting that maybe they'd gone to the wrong junction. Anyway, they have we have a what do they call it? A scheme outcome. So just bear with me for a moment. I think it's worth looking at because to be honest, we very rarely get a massive amount of feedback from these things. So we've got a letter. There are a number of different places, but ours is first on the list. And it said the proposal sought to extend double yellow lines in order to ensure that no inconsiderate parking would take place, which would obstruct the flow of traffic and manoeuvring for buses. Objections were received to the loss of on-street parking. The views have been taken into consideration, and it has been agreed to reduce the extent of the double yellow lines along Church Road to minimise the loss of parking while still improving bus access. And we can quickly have a look at the plan that we were consulted on and the plan that they've agreed. So this is what we were consulted on. The purple lines being double yellows, proposed double yellow lines, and the yellow ones being existing double yellow lines. So as you can see, they just wanted to extend that. What has been approved is this. So you've gone from they've extended this one slightly and reduced the one by the old vicarage somewhat. So that's their response to the objections that they received.
Joanna?
If I was cynical, which of course I'm not, it looks a bit like a face-saving exercise because they haven't responded to the clear problem that they've picked the wrong corner. So I suspect that we might get another consultation on the right corner.
Yes.
And that this one
in the
is
future.
just the smallest you could possibly do on this.
Yeah.
And it's not unsensible what they're doing because the bus does have to go round. But they're not responding to the comment we made.
No.
And other people have made. So, touch of a face-saving thing there.
So when they get some more yellow paint. So there we go.
And the only other one was just to say the pedestrian improvement consultation. Just to confirm, our response to that consultation was submitted, and there was just one slight amendment from Councillor Kenny, which was just making something a little clearer, wasn't it, about the roundabout exit.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's been, so we'll wait to see what happens to that, because that would seem to be quite a, well, a lot of people are interested in it, that's for certain.
Yes, it was, yes. I mean, no, I approached the roundabout coming up through Nance Ledden to go straight on home. And it was classic, it was just gridlocked around because a pedestrian had turned the lights and people can't tell that the lights have been pressed coming down the A3059 and they blocked up the roundabout.
When you need a warning sign like that, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a shame we can't talk to Kevin about it because...
Yeah. Yes. Right. Licensing, number 8, agenda 8. Gosh, when was the last time we didn't have any licensing? It's
it's that time of year though, isn't it? People getting their ducks in a row for the summer season. So yeah, we've no applications to look at. The only thing of mention is that there's the Ballmasters hearing taking place tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and Sarah's going to be representing the town council. Do you know if our mayor is attending?
Don't know.
And and I'll sit with you as well for that, if that's all right.
Yeah. I mean, because we put the introduction with, there was lots of concerns about the increase in decibels that we... So we need clarity in terms of who is measuring, where the measurements have been taken, all those sorts of things. So hopefully we'll have an opportunity.
Report back for the next meeting.
Yeah, about that. Brilliant. Right. Previous planning applications, we've had a couple, haven't we?
Yeah, one has still got a couple of days to go.
Yeah.
So I've
Can
just
I
got...
encourage people to vote on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that we have returned was for 5-day protocol for 7 Sandy Lodge corner on St Anne's Road. 5 councillors responded by email, the majority choosing to agree to disagree with the officer recommendation to approve the application. This is one that was, I think it was in January when I wasn't here, so I'm not that familiar with the application.
It was the garage right on the pavement.
But what I did want to say was, yeah, sort of St Anne's Road, Hillgrove Road,
Yes,
isn't
on the
it?
corner.
Right up the top. But I did want to mention that 2 councillors who wished to maintain their objection responded after the deadline and after I'd replied to Cornwall Council. If those 2 councillors had responded on time, your response to Cornwall Council would have been to maintain your objection, not to agree to disagree. I do try and make it as clear as possible on the email about the time.
That's the
it's just a
importance,
reminder.
yeah.
I know it's difficult to keep up with these things,
Yeah.
but and to be honest, this is the only instance I can think of where it's actually flipped what a decision would have been.
Yeah.
But it's something that we do need to be aware of. Okay, because what's gone back to Cornwall Council isn't necessarily what this room felt, unfortunately. Yeah, but it's just that one to ratify, so it's agree to disagree.
So I propose that due process has taken place. Seconder? Yeah, Sandy seconded. All those in favour, process? Yeah, brilliant, thank you. All right, now we're on to 10, and we've got 10I, which is applications for list 1, which we triaged. So go through them one at a time. So application 1 then, which was PA 26/00664, was the upgrading existing extensions with the addition of a small extension, the existing flat roof to be raised approximately 400 millimetres, so 40 centimetres, on 2 Tretheris Close. We saw no problems with this. This wasn't a huge change with what's going on, was it? It was a tiny extension at the back, literally wondering why, really, that they were doing with it. And there was no issues of overlooking or anything like that. So, so we put supporting for that. And well, you can see our comment that we've got on there. Council agreed the scale and appearance of the proposed works, include the materials to be used, will be quite suitable for this location and unlikely to harm the existing street scene. In line with Newquay Neighbourhood Plan Policy G2, the applicant is encouraged to explore reasonable opportunities for environmental sustainability. So I'm happy to propose support. Second, all those in favour? Brilliant, thank you. Application 4 then. PA 25/09330. This is Morrison's. This was replacing the existing sales floor refrigeration equipment with new to include installing new plant on the existing roof. And when we looked at the before and after, we couldn't spot the difference at all. So, and there's nobody overlooking, it wasn't a change in anything. So, happy to support this. Seconder, Sandy seconded, all those in favour, thank you. And then application 6 is PA 26/00730. This is Rocklands, which is where Pizza Express is, on the corner up on Narrowcliffe. And we are supporting the removal of the flammable cladding. Yeah. And replacing it with, yeah, so on the west side it's blown off. There's sort of like all the insulation that's there at the moment. But it's quite interesting because this is the second one we've seen, and I'm wondering if people have been around noting the combustible cladding on things. So we're supporting this. I'm happy to support this. Second, all those in favour for that being gone. Right, wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Right, so then we go on to list 2. just dong that up a minute. Right. So, first one then is application 2, PA 26/00466, 2 East Street, which is the consent for a hand-painted, a one hand-painted wrap-around fascia sign and one illuminated box projecting sign. We thought because this is in your area, Joanna, that you'd want to see this. So, over to you, Duncan. Thank you. Because it's the one out the window, that one out there.
Yeah, if it was a little lighter, we could actually,
Yeah, we could like do the binoculars. We could have a planning field trip, couldn't we? Sort of like
the property formerly known as the Oggy Oggy Pasty Company. It's now Beach Buns. We saw the application for the new extraction system for this one, if you remember, which I think was following our comments was severely reduced in size, because it looked quite extraordinary to start with, didn't it? The block plan for this is helpful because they've sort of shown us where everything goes. So as you can see, we've got a mixture of fascia signs and a projecting box light. So the fascia signs are just mirroring what's there already. The box light is, it's not really a box, it's more of a triangle. It's pretty much where that cup of tea is, and it's going to hang down, it's going to look like a pizza slice. I'll see if I can find you an image of that. Yeah, so they've provided this just to show us that, well, the key thing is actually this pizza slice here, which will be internally illuminated. It has to be a certain height, 2.5 metres above floor level.
looks like a bit of like a hanging dagger at the moment, doesn't it?
That's hand painted.
I don't know that is. I believe that the fascia is hand painted. I should think that that's a mixture of plastic and metal that's internally lit.
That's a grisly colour. Sorry, I know that is a subjective view of orange, but it.
Tell you what they say. They say the fascia will be hand painted by a local artist using exterior weather resistant paints. The limited colour palette is intended to avoid visual clutter and ensure the sign integrates properly with the host building.
It's bright orange. Sorry, voice going up there. It's bright orange compared on a white building. How much?
And it says the sign will only be illuminated from 11 till 6 p.m. 11 in the morning, 6 p.m. That way, it's not causing a distraction to
so it's illuminated during the day.
Traffic. Yeah, but you often, if they go into the night time, you start to get issues with. Is it going to distract drivers? Is it going to catch a driver's eye and they'll go and drive into the surf shop or something like that?
Yes, but I don't see why that needs to be illuminated at all. I think it's bright enough anyway. Wow. Oh yes, sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm mesmerised.
The first thing we probably ought to refer to is our shopfront design document, which is part of our neighbourhood plan. That makes the point that Newquay is a seaside town and it's got a lot of cheerful, and that's what contributes to the town. I'm not sure this is my favourite colour, but I think in its context it won't be too bad. What I do like is the fact that it's not a big, one of these big ones that really sort of dominate the night sky. It's quite a narrow sign. And it could have been a lot worse. I think the orange is a little, I mean...
Leery.
I don't know, have we got a street scene, but, what have we got on the other? We've got some really funny colours, so I'm not sure this is going to be any different.
To be honest, a lot of it is quite grey, actually.
Oh, I'll have something cheerful.
It's surrounded by a lot of blue, and...
I think it's going to be quite cheerful looking.
Offset nicely by the funeral director.
The flames of hell, perhaps.
Balancing it out, maybe.
Can we object to the, not to the signage, but just to the odd triangle pizza slice that's sticking out?
I don't see, yeah, I'm a bit concerned what that offers, really.
I don't think that offers anything, and it looks...
like a dagger.
Well, yeah, it looks ridiculous. But the signage is bright, cheerful. I suppose it says what they want to, what they're selling. But I don't think it's necessary. It might set a precedent for other businesses to have things sticking out.
It's quite interesting. I know what the pun on the word beach buns, but I'd thought they'd be selling buns, not pizza. Well, isn't it called beach pizza? I would have thought it was going to be a sticky bun shop. And I know what they mean, the pun on the buns bit. Yeah, as long as it does stay as N and doesn't transgress into its next door consonant. Well, does somebody want to suggest anything?
Is this one where we have to do a planning? Do we have to do a planning conclusion, or is it something we're just?
Yeah, it's come through as a planning application. That we've got to decide whether
Yeah,
we.
I mean, I've looked at it in terms of it. You could see some like kind of measurements and stuff here, and the luminosity of the sign, the size of the sign, how far it projects from the building, and obviously if there was anything untowards, I'd draw your attention to that. I've got a guide that I can look at and sort of have a look at this, and it meets everything legally, you know, that it's supposed to do. I know the colour is quite a departure from what's there at the moment, but I don't know that you could base their objection on that.
What was the old? It's become, isn't it become North Shore? Opposite Costa Coffee on the opposite corner. Used to be Superdry. There wasn't their sign. Was their signage orange?
Well, their bags are orange, aren't they? With that?
Yeah, and we passed that as being orange, didn't they? Even though sometime Superdry is gone and it's now Animal. That's right, it's Animal. I walked past it. When did that happen? Anyway, so yeah, I mean, you know, Superdry was orange and we let them have that. So personally, it's not. It's going to be a love it or hate it scenario, isn't it? So I propose no objection.
I'll second that.
Rather than support based on the colour.
No.
So all those for no objection. And Karen, you're objecting. Yeah.
The pictures are quite fun.
Based on
It's the
It's the piece of pizza.
Fluorescent sign, I sense that.
It's still underneath the canopy though. There's the canopy there. It's not sticking out into mid-air. It's underneath the canopy.
It's just not in keeping.
I mean, I think it looks. But that's my
It's
subjective.
internally illuminated rather than being fluorescent, so I don't think it'll be that.
Fluorescent.
I don't think it'll be that bright.
It's going to be.
really funny.
It's going to be very interesting to see how much the real thing actually looks like the pictures. We shall
Yeah. Yeah. We just need to make sure that.
American every day, isn't it?
see. We're not talking about America at the moment, Karen.
No, we're not. No. Anyway. Yeah. It could be another field trip, couldn't it? Or it could be last one in has to pop in and get some for. Yeah. Right, bringing the meeting back again. Application 3, PA 26/00757. So this is the land at Bodower Meadows. So the land behind Newquay University, that field there, which we was under a long time debating for. I think it's Treveth, isn't it? Treveth are building the housing in there, and we discussed it with. We had the entrances from the other side, and I've forgotten what's that road. I forgot what. Bodower Meadows Road, right? Okay. So what they want to do now then is variation of condition 1, which is a little bit disappointing, but there we go, Duncan. Over to you.
Right, yeah. So, as you can see from the overhead, it's the green site to the left of Bedown Meadows. In terms of comments, there have been none returned so far, but I'll just make you aware that somebody called the Planning Obligation Officer, which I've never seen before, the Planning Obligation Officer has been consulted, and as have the Affordable Housing team at Cornwall Council as well. So, a very brief background is that you'll recall that after a lengthy application process, this development of 50 homes was approved by the Planning Authority in February 2024. In March 2025, this committee raised no objection to a decrease in the number, so it went from 50 to 46, and we were satisfied that the reduction in affordable housing would only be one of those units. So there would have been 17 affordable Section 106 dwellings. That was reduced to 16. This application, as it says, it refers to variation of condition 1 of that last permission that we looked at. Condition 1 refers to the plans approved under the decision notice, and I've got the tenure layout somewhere here. This is useful just because it gives you an idea. I might have to make that so smaller. Just an idea of the layout. God, it's huge, isn't it? Just gives you an idea of the layout of the development of that greenfield, and that's the university, I think, at the top of the. No. Sorry, the university is here. This was the pond, wasn't it? Do you remember this, Joanna?
That's the sud that's going to
go
in.
Yeah, because there were
which is a bit alarming for the university.
Yeah,
and they are.
We've had our say about that several times, I think. The other document then show you is the affordable housing statement.
Which I'm finding totally confusing.
Right. Okay. I can kind of make some sense of it. I think it's there we go. So you had this shows. Is this the right page? Hang on a second. Yeah, it's that one there. They are looking to have. They had 16 Section 106 units. They are now looking to still have 16, but it is changing so that you are going to have 15 of those would be shared ownership, and only one would be an affordable to rent bungalow.
But that's only over 16. There are other rented accommodation on there, is there?
No.
There are. Once all is done and dusted, there will be 9 homes that will be sold on the open market, and there will be 31 open market rental properties on the site.
But not affordable.
So no, but not affordable. So effectively, they've taken the what would have been affordable rental properties, and because of financial constraints, they would like to have them as still as Section 106, but as affordable purchase housing.
But
And part of that.
It will be shared ownership.
Shared ownership, yeah. And they are saying this is because financially they aren't going to be able to deliver the scheme otherwise. And
Traverse got no money.
And they are saying that this loss of affordable rented property is mitigated to some extent by the fact that there will still be 31 open market rentals available. So it is bringing rented property into Newquay, but it's only going to bring in one affordable rental property, and I believe that that's quite a specialist property that would be more suited to somebody with mobility issues and maybe having a carer. That's kind of
area of housing. So there you go.
If you didn't know, Treveth is like Cornwall Council's housing arm, like Cormac. So similar, so separate, but sort of related to Cornwall Council, if you didn't know. I think it's a shame, but I don't, Treveth's got no money. I mean, like Cornwall Council's got no money. I'm not sure that, objecting to this, I think you'll just get overruled and it's just not going to go anywhere. So Margaret?
I think by objecting, we're letting the people of Newquay know that this is so disappointing. I mean, they came here with all their plans and all their street scenes, all their trees. The only affordable rent is a 1-2-bedroomed bungalow, which may be somebody who's got a disability. Yeah. But, people want affordable rent in Newquay. Yeah. And although I call that out, it's like, it's not right in the centre, it's close to schools, all of the schools, and, they might not be able to afford shared ownership. So I think, we're here to represent residents, and we should, if we feel we want to object, and it doesn't achieve anything, we have shown the residents that we are thinking of them, that we're not just going to say, oh, okay, you want to go from 16 to 1, so what,
I totally agree with that. And I think it's, if your business proposition isn't viable, then it's not a viable business proposition, really. So of the ones that will be rented at the market rate, whatever that is, who will own them? Will Treveth continue to own them?
I believe that Cornwall Council will be the landlord. I think I believe that's correct. I think I don't think that they're for open market sale. I believe that it's Cornwall Council would be the at least
Joanna and then Sandy.
I'm not as anti. I mean, I'm disappointed to a certain extent, but the shortage in Newquay is not so much affordable rented accommodation, it's just rented accommodation. There's a desperate need for good rented accommodation to a good landlord, which is one of the reasons they like Cornwall housing. So there's still, however many there were, rented accommodation. In a sense, shared ownership is quite an interesting concept. I know people who would never be able to dream of owning their own house, but who go into shared ownership and then find that they can pay bits more as they go through it, and they finish up as homeowners, and that's not a bad thing.
I benefited from shared ownership, so I'll put my hand up. So I don't disagree with shared ownership either. It was a great opportunity for me back in the day, but it's a very different proposition to the one that they pitched.
Yeah, but I think, to me, it's all about providing rented accommodation, and the majority of these houses are going to be rented. And the 9, they always were going to be 9 to be sold, and the idea was the 9 was going to sell the 9, and that would pay for the rented accommodation. So, it would be lovely to have it. No, I'm not sure I actually agree. I think, it's good to have the opportunity for people to own their own homes, and this does actually go towards that.
Sandy?
The majority of people that are on the housing list aren't going to be able to go into shared ownership. They're not going to be anywhere near that position. And to me, that means the housing list is just going to go on getting longer and longer and longer. So I think we realistically have got to look at some way of providing affordable housing for people.
Karen?
Yeah, I was just going to add to that, really. Their initial application was based on 16, and to reduce it to 1 is shocking. I just think they think that we're just going to let that go through without any objection, and we should object to it, because shared ownership, you still need to be able to have some sort of mortgage with that shared ownership deal, and not everybody has got a deposit or can afford it. And it's only 16 properties anyway. They would get filled in 2 seconds, because there's that much of a shortage. I do feel we need to object to this, is my opinion.
Right. Margaret, do you want to make a proposal?
I'm happy to object to this, that we were sold a plan that was showing us 16 properties, and now they've reduced that to one, and the one is actually a 1-2-bedroom bungalow, not even a I wouldn't call that a family home. I feel that's probably somebody who's got a disability, and therefore, but you know, it's just disappointing, and they need to know that.
Yeah. Seconder for that objection? Okay, all those in favour of objection? And otherwise?
Yeah, I'd actually like to read the conclusion of the Affordable Housing Team. Necessitates a change to the affordable housing tenure. If not, then the development would be unviable and undeliverable. Importantly, no reduction is proposed to the number of affordable homes. So the Affordable Housing Team is happy with it, so I'm going to object to your objections.
And that's fine, as we've given the message to the electorate. It'll come back as a 5-day protocol, and then we can say otherwise. So, okay, Duncan?
Yep.
Brilliant, thank you. Right, and we've covered application 5. Whoop, whoop. Terms of reference, that
Have we done 7?
Edgecombe Gardens?
Oh, sorry.
This is the one that came in late that we weren't able to. Came in too late for us to do any screening on this one.
I beg your pudding. Right, PA 26/00469, 21 Edgecombe Gardens, extension to front and rear porches, creation of a raised rear patio with bifold doors and installation of window to kitchen to rear. This came in late, so we didn't triage this one.
Yeah, this is your special surprise one. This is right. So Edgecombe Gardens, so sort of kind of spanning between Edgecombe Avenue and Eulalia Road. I think it's this property here that we're looking at. We've got a nice street scene of it. Ooh. Yeah, there we go. So it's this property here. As you'll see, it's semi-detached. We'll have a quick look at the location plan, if for no other reason than to see what a lovely long garden they've got. They've all got there. It's quite a generous plot. The block plans, they're quite useful for us to compare, to get a feel for what they're doing here, or what they're hoping to do. Sorry, that's too big, isn't it? Right, let's just keep it like that. Yeah, we don't need to see the garden really. So that's it. That's the existing half of this semi-detached property. The proposed block plan. So it shows some additions to the building footprint. At the front, you've got the porch that's mentioned in the description. At the rear, you've also got another porch, and you can see this highlighted in purple as this raised patio area. They've got some measurements here, which basically tell us that this is a sloping plot from front to back, but it tells us, this purple banner here tells us that the patio level is going to be a little over 1.3 metres off the ground, so it's going to be a raised patio area coming off the back of the property. We've got a couple of really useful photographs as well. I always like it when they give us some photographs. So here, what I'm trying to show here is this front porch arrangement, which is currently, you'll see, sort of matches the neighbour. It's just inset from the building line. I think the next page sort of kind of shows. So effectively, they're going to infill up to the building line. There is a comment here that says, whilst they appreciate that this would look at odds with the neighbour is actually intending to do the same thing as well. I mean, we haven't got anything that backs that up, and the neighbour could change their mind tomorrow, but I believe that the intention is that the neighbour is going to also put in an application to infill that space as well and sort of
Are they increasing the height, or is it literally they're infilling that porch?
I think that they're just infilling it, but we'll have a look we'll double check that. That's a good question, and we'll double check that in a moment. At the rear, we've got a couple of quite nice pictures. We've got the owner in the garden. So they've got an existing porch. That's going to be modestly extended. So that's that piece, that dark purple piece there. So they're going to modestly extend that, and you can sort of see this area here where that dustbin is, this sort of paved area, concreted area. This is going to be the site of this 1.3 metre high raised patio.
So do you think that's going to be the...
So I believe that the idea is...
Yes, it will be.
I think that you can see from the elevations they've got a finished floor line, which is in keeping with that, and I believe that the patio is going to follow that line. And the next.
What do you think that store covers? They're going to raise it, but it looks like.
I do not know. I have no idea. This one here, so you'll see it looks like it's not completed, but the neighbour has already undertaken a similar raised terrace platform at the back of their property.
And what about the other side? But it's the other side though. But
I don't know, because we haven't got a picture of the other side. But this is obviously this is the property that it's adjoined to.
Sorry, Duncan, but.
Building line that the neighbour has already, and they're just going to make a slightly nicer porch at the back to go with a new patio.
And the height will be the same, won't it?
Yeah, and obviously none of this is sort of kind of visible from the street. We'll just have a very quick look at the
Going to have some steps somewhere.
elevations.
Hopefully a balustrade going around it. That's some obscure cars.
I don't think that there are any. I don't think that there are any plans for. Sorry, just let me get this out of the way. They're probably down there. Right. So. Oh, sorry, I've made that a little larger than I wanted to. Yeah, so that's the existing, and that's the proposed. So the south is the rear elevation, so that's the one in the top right corner. So I think that was that finished floor level that I was on about. So that'll be the patio, so literally in line with the top of the steps.
Yeah. And the neighbour, yeah.
The key change, I think, is that you can see really is the works to the rear. So if you look at the side elevations, the west and the eastern one, you can see that kind of the patio sort of kind of flares out rather than just being a vertical. It's and you can also appreciate that this it's only a small extension to the existing porch, but there it is on the existing, and that's the proposed, so it makes it a little bit larger. on the rear elevation, the southern elevation, you can see that they've built steps into the patio.
So it becomes a bit of a deck.
Yes, yeah, indeed, yeah. I mean, they've referred to it as a patio. Really, they've already got a patio, and they're kind of having a, yeah, it's a sort of more of a raised terrace. There aren't any balustrades or anything like that.
Is not.
Do you not seen that?
He's chatting with the neighbours, see if he can do it.
So if you see that.
We don't know what we're looking at there.
No.
Back to the street, the front, because that will tell us what's there, you know, next door.
Street scene.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I mean,
So they are going to be looking straight into their garden.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we looking at no objection? Make sure you're not
Pending.
affecting the amenity of the...
Yeah, with the patio at the back to its. No, I don't know which number that neighbour is.
That would be 23.
Yeah, with number 23. Noting that there is obscure glass with the equivalent boundary with number 19. That to check then for views with the neighbour, because I mean, you know, yeah, Margaret.
Just looking at the plans, it doesn't know if they're putting any glass up anyway, does it?
No, wait, that's what I mean. I think it needs a balustrade, yeah.
You don't often have a balustrade when you're on the ground floor level.
But they're
You
not
do,
on
but
the
they're not
ground
there.
floor.
At one point-
They're going to be...
Building
No, it's more-
control are all over that, I know. So
They're 4 feet up, not
Easy.
2. Yeah.
Well,
It-
subject to any requirements of building.
there are specific things that will say that they
Yeah.
need to have a...
They could fall off it, couldn't
Yeah,
they, children?
and-
Yeah.
Go plop into the neighbour. Yeah.
You know, I can include that in any
Yeah.
comment, but we aren't, you know, we don't. Building control issues are dealt with outside the planning.
So,
The
Is
front,
there-
are they keeping a pitched roof for their
Yeah.
porch at the front?
Are
yeah.
they extending the pitch roof from where it is, from underneath the window, out
Let's see if we
to
can
that meter?
figure that out, because I think that's quite
Yeah,
quite a good
from the street scene perspective.
So is that going to lose the line of the buildings?
No, because it's not going to...
Level with the front window.
Beyond the current wall, it's going to go to the current wall.
Can you just have a look at the proposed front elevation?
Yeah, certainly. So that, yeah, that's a pit. We can see that's a pitch roof. I'll make that a little larger. Yeah. So yeah, that's the pitched roof. I think if we looked at it on the existing, you'd see it looks. That's how they've drawn the pitch roof. So that's a pitch roof on the existing, that's a pitch roof on the proposed.
Okay.
So the only change is that it's sticking out further, and you can see there, proposed extension in agreement with neighbours who plan to extend porch and match this proposed style. Obviously nobody can be nailed onto that, but that's the intention, to keep that symmetry of the property.
Because I think they'll struggle to get the pitch though, because they come under the window.
Yeah. So,
I know it's not for us to decide, but you know the pitch, they're already under the window on the original pitch.
Yeah.
And they're coming out a metre.
Yeah.
So that pitch is going to come down. I know they've shown us a lovely picture, but if you go back to the original photo, the pitch starts just under the window now, and the pitch is still going to stay there. But actually, if it comes out a metre, it's going to sort of, do you know,
That's what he means, he's got a building line. So,
No, what I'm trying to say is, with the pitches like this, he's coming out another metre, the pitch will be like that.
No, it will just be a shallower pitch.
Oh, he does it shallower.
Yeah.
Have we got, go back to the elevations again. So we need a side elevation, don't we, to show what's happening with the rather than front. So that's the back. What's the front side?
I don't think we've got anything.
No.
No.
This one here this is hatched out because this is showing the shadow of the neighbouring property. The only thing that we've not looked at is the floor plan, so let's just see if that helps us at all. I have a feeling it doesn't. Yeah, no, that doesn't. I mean, that gives you an indication. That's the existing, and that's the proposed. That gives you an indication of that.
I mean, but that's fine though, because it shows that it's in line for the rest of the house. So yeah. I don't think
it's either they do a shallower pitch or it finishes at a lower point.
And it's a bit of flat roof.
No, I don't think it's flat.
No, I think they're just changing the pitch. Yeah. So I'm happy to propose no objection pending all those concerns that we have at the back. Sandy second, all those in favour? Yeah. Brilliant, thank you. Right. Terms of reference, we've done all that, that's all gone through, hasn't it? That went through, or is it coming through full council tomorrow? Full council tomorrow? Yeah.
I'll just say there's a couple of, in time for the annual meeting, I can never remember which one it is.
Last in March.
Yeah. There's a couple of changes to the terms of reference which I'll talk to you about. One will be to do with the tweaking the our screening process, and just kind of saying that that's a permanent thing. And the other is it's to do with reversing decisions, because what we've got at the moment is quite woolly worded, but I'm going to draft something and take some advice in the office, and I'll come back to you about that, because it's just a little bit woollier than really it ought to be.
Okay.
Okay, that's just to give you that.
We need to share that sheep then, do we? Right, continuing with the woolly metaphor. Number 12, working parties. Joanna?
So we've got a derelict building working party tomorrow.
Which I can't do because I'm
which I think the Sutherland will feature quite highly. And we may even suggest that it becomes our top priority as opposed to the Bristol, because they've done an awful lot. I mean, look at Joseph. To give them credit, they have done a lot of work, and they've done a lot of work correcting or repairing after the storm. I think we might try to think of a way of asking them what their future plans are, but you can't really demand it, but we might ask them on a friendly basis. But the Sutherland is still an absolute disaster area. So that's tomorrow. Newquay Neighbourhood Plan, there's something coming round, or there was a training session coming round, where they're sort of saying that the local plan, they're hoping that that will start this year. Once they do that, then it becomes where we need to keep the neighbourhood plan going in parallel. But I'm not convinced by this. They're thinking the government will allow them to start this year. And after that, was it 30 months they have to get it done by? I still think they would be really, really pushed to get it done within this particular council cycle. But if they can start this year, they might be able to do it. It's pushing it.
Could I ask you that training sessions?
It was a parish. It was a parish newsletter. I think I noticed it in. And have we not had one? Or a planning note. I'll have a look and see if I can dig it out.
Yeah.
But I remember looking at it and thinking, well, maybe.
I'll share it with everybody. I haven't seen it.
If I can find it. Yeah. I think it was something I assumed that we'd got. But maybe not. Maybe it's just something that.
It was like a sort of a. Oh, what's that gentleman's
name? It was
Andrew
a planning
Tower.
program. I'll see if I can find it. If I can, I'll send it over. It's no big deal. And finally, parking. Well. The car park went through, or didn't go through, scrutiny today. I'd actually got a deal that the winter charging they wanted to do in Belmont wouldn't take place, but it probably would in the other two. And amongst the other comments that say, we don't see why you want to do that. Surely let's have some money as to why you want to do Belmont. So I got very cross at this point. And Ray basically said, if you want to screw any more money out of Newquay. I think that was the worst phrase I used. You don't do it by putting in winter parking. You do it by increasing the summer charging in the car parks, which he reduced 2 or 3 years ago. So anyway, everybody had beefs about various things, and in the end of the day, they took all the recommendations on block and then objected to them. So there's going to be another fight at Cabinet on the 18th. So it's going to be entertaining.
Oh, fun. For those, I don't know if I'm going to say, those of you who don't know, there's plans for a care home on Tregonwell car park. Part of it.
Yes, now I'm going to have been given a presentation on that because the idea that they keep using Tregonwell as a building site. Yeah. Dan has assured me that it's only, the cabinet members assured me it's only a couple of places. I don't believe it because it's all about rebuilding Penberthy. And Penberthy isn't anywhere near Tregonwell. So if they want to rebuild, they're talking about taking a lot of places out. The town team survey basically says we anticipate in the future that we won't have traffic in the centre of town anymore. We don't want to keep the central car park. What we need is an intervention car park, and then you have hoppers or buses or something to take you around town. And we have an ideal intervention car park in Tregonwell. Well, they won't if they keep building on it.
No, I mean, this was exactly what we were worried about when we said this wasn't the place for the emergency housing that went up there, and we lost a third of the car park for that. And the revenue from that car park has gone down accordingly. And that was only meant to be temporary, and we showed alarm because once you start building on it, then that set the precedent, and oh look. And of course it's a care home, so then what are we meant to be doing? Like looking to object to a care home, which we desperately need. It's not that they're putting a supermarket on it, which we can all object to. So it looks like, you're objecting to a care home, are you? So, I mean,
find some other land.
Yes,
it's got. But I haven't had a presentation on this. No. I understand that Councillor Drew Councillor Creek is in favour of this, or he basically indicated he was. He may have changed his mind by now. When
I don't know, Margaret.
So going back to the care home, that was mooted about 5-6 years ago, wasn't it?
It was not a care home. It was going to be extra care.
It was a care facility.
Yeah, it was a care facility. It was extra care.
So a care home, whether nursing or care. And I know Jeff Brown was around at the time.
And he got it diverted to the Duchy.
We said, put it out where the park and ride is, they can use transport to come in or whatever. But in truth, I thought there was a care home going...
A bit like Morrison's.
Yeah. So why do they need another one? And
well, what they're saying is and I mean, I haven't had the presentation, I don't even know if this is in confidence. So, but effectively what they're saying is that Penberthy is not fit for purpose, and therefore they want a replacement building, and they've decided that our car park is the place to put it.
Penberthy is owned by, or used to be Cornwall Care, it's somebody else now.
No, it's Cornwall. Anyway, I haven't had the presentation. Can I suggest that I report back after I've had the presentation and find out exactly what's
Cornwall
happening?
Council do not own Penberthy.
No, but they've got this idea.
It was sold off a considerable amount of time. I'm going to say 20 years ago for a pittance, and then people from Cornwall Council took it over, from what I can remember, and it was bought for a pittance. And then Cornwall Care became the name, but it's nothing to do with Cornwall Council. They ran the home. It's mainly for people with dementia. Another company, I think, has now bought it. But because that isn't fit for purpose, that doesn't mean that we build a care home on a car park that families come to. The park and ride goes to there, drops them off, and we're saying, trying to get people to walk from there into town.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, otherwise people just won't come to Newquay because there is nowhere to park, and I think it's.
I totally agree, but we haven't actually seen the plans, and I haven't seen the plans, so I know it's something to do with getting rid of, demolishing Penberthy and putting it somewhere else. I mean, it's been presented to me as an extension to Penberthy. I think, no, because there's a big gap between Penberthy and the car park.
I'm not so worried. I mean, but this, I mentioned this, it's because of car parks. I'm not at this stage, I'm not sort of like, it's the loss of car parking, as to where the arguments are in terms of care homes and whatever thing. That isn't part of what I mentioned it because we're going to be losing another big chunk of Tregonwell car park, our biggest car park for the summer, and people are not going to be coming to Newquay because, and with the park and ride, that's not guaranteed space. That's going to be built on. So we haven't got a guaranteed, and the message coming out of Colan Parish Council is that they haven't got any land for parking. They've had a meeting with Noah Law and councillors, and they say we've got nowhere for a park and ride. So those are the serious issues with the car parking that we could be given a few years down the line. We're not going to have a park and ride either. So that all needs addressing. So yes, if you can update us on. And just on with the loss of the car park.
We are guessing at the moment.
Yes.
Effectively, I'm having this, and I will make all these questions because I was very concerned about the pods, and I'm not even sure if anybody's living in the pods. Residents are telling me there are no lights on at night, so
no, they're not being used, is what I've heard. But going back to the. Pardon?
Well, no, they're
meant to be intermediary places of residence with, so because they're meant to have a manager there, whether that is being too expensive, so then they can't put people in it or not. But yes, that's a whole nother thing as to another.
I'll see what I can find out. But Drew is really the person you should be talking to because it's his division.
And just one quick thing, the town team might say in the future, but I can see for the next 10 years, people are still going to come and use their cars.
Yeah.
It's all right saying we've got this fantastic plan, everybody's going to be walking. You try and get anybody to walk. The buses at the moment are pretty dire. Yeah. So actually, are they going to have hopper buses taking you here, there and everywhere? And I would say the answer probably no. But I think just because the town team say this is what we envisage, we need to live in the here and now, to be honest.
The town team are saying we want to keep Tregonwell. They're saying it's a really important car park for the future. They're not saying get rid of it, to build it, or anything like that. So I think this one is going to run and run.
And also, just to point out, it's protecting the residents who live just from these car parks. We, as a resident, you've got nowhere to park outside your own house because visitors are coming and taking those spaces. So we definitely need to hold on to these car parks, without a doubt.
And we need to keep on hold of free winter parking as well, which is where we started the conversation. And the other bit coming out of the Pike and Working Party, actually there's a splendid, because there was something like, I don't know if I've actually got, but there was something like 8,000, a huge number of objections. And they've come out with this wonderful sentence saying, we understand there are a lot of objections, but it's accepted that it's accepted that we need the income of the rest. I thought, accepted by whom? Yeah. Because it's not the bid, it's not town council, it's certainly not the local member. So this one is going to run around. But anyway, it's all going to be happening in Cabinet. Oh, here we go. Well, there was a significant number of objections to these initiatives, like 7,555, with 1,638 objecting to losing winter parking. It is recognised that these changes will support the provision of the wider parking service and support investment into these car parks. Recognised by whom? Because they are, I think there was a lot of commentary today about, you just rubber stamp this, you're not accepting what people are saying to you. Why are you having a consultation, 7,555, and not taking any notice of it?
Well,
least of all,
who's making these decisions? Who is it that wants?
Well, it's going to be Cabinet. Right. The unfortunate Cabinet member is Dan Rogerson, who's trying to sort of work all of this. The recommendations are coming from the car parking team. I have been engaged in negotiations with the car parking team since the days of Restormal. Right. So this is, and their emphasis is getting in income. I understand entirely why their emphasis on that.
Prices up in the summer.
Well, exactly, that's what we've said.
That's going to get you.
Just put it back. The problem is they've got this common banding, and that's been a total disaster, because what works in Newquay doesn't work in Falmouth or doesn't work in Callington. Yeah. I mean, if you put 10p on the price on Newquay, you do not want 10p on the price put on every other car park that's of the same order. So you've got to break the banding.
Yeah.
I think, especially in these days of artificial intelligence, that I think it's probably quite a solvable problem. Because you can know, and as opposed to somebody sat in an office working it all out for all the car parks, that's the whole point of AI, isn't it? That's something that would be useful to have.
You know, the apps, you pick where you are and you pay that. That's all it takes. Yeah.
Anyway,
come the end of March, I'm assuming that we're going to be doing our normal annual Freedom of Information request, which tells us what the income is for every car park, and more usefully, what sort of parking tickets they're selling, how many 2 hours, how many, because they're getting rid of they want to get rid of the 3-hour parking charge. They want to go straight from 2 hours to 4 hours. So all sorts of exciting things. The other big issue, of course, is the highway scheme. Duncan, did we get anything back from our either or suggestion for this?
We were told that we could go forward with both of them, so both of them were submitted. Priority 1, priority 2, and we just have to wait and see what happens now. I hadn't heard anything additional. Helen Fincham went around, spoke to the necessary people, gave us the green light to put in 2 schemes rather than the one that we're allowed to put in. But this is on the proviso that if one of them didn't meet the criteria and had to be thrown in the bin straight away, then we'd got a fallback position. But if that one did meet the criteria, which I believe that it did, from what I read about it, then that would be the one that would be progressed with, and the other one would just be discarded from the beginning. If that makes sense.
As a reminder, the preference was given to introducing a 20-mile-an-hour limit from down Edgecombe Avenue, down by the lake. That's really what we wanted, which would, your suggestions were absolutely fantastically useful, and they were the basis of a lot of our debate. Okay. But what we decided was, you were talking about, Drew was talking about having a crossing by the double roundabout, you were talking about an entry into finance. So effectively we said, well, if you just slow the traffic down, then you wouldn't need any of that.
Yeah.
But we see, anyway. Finished, Joanna? Yeah, trained on that one. Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Financial statement, you been skiing?
Yeah, no purchases made, nothing to authorise.
Wonderful, thank you. Other correspondence?
No, we've not. We've other than the odd email here and there, which just requires me to advise people on how planning process works. We've not had anything meaningful that we need to talk about at committee.
And we've had no decisions that have come in.
One.
Oh, is there? Oh, it's not on mine. Okay, yeah, go for it.
Oh, sorry, I apologise if it isn't. Because we're on a Tuesday, these come out on a Wednesday. So next time we meet, we'll have 3 weeks worth of decisions. But I think there was only a single decision on the last list that I saw. So, and it wasn't anything really interesting. So
it wasn't anything we disagreed with.
Oh, okay. Brilliant. Well, then date of next meeting is
18th of March.
And Wednesday, the 18th of March. Look forward to seeing you all then. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.